Now I've got an interesting pattern for you today. Let me set the stage real quick. A couple of days ago, I was out on the Savage River. It's mid-November. I wasn't having any luck with my standard elk hair caddis. So I came up on a stretch which was pretty slow water and very smooth on top. So I looked at my box thinking, okay, what's going to work in here? And I found this pattern that, I haven't used this in a little while anyway. And it's a simple little, mostly a caddis imitation, but also it looks a little bit like a gnat. It's got wings, downswept wings made out of hackle tips, just a cream body, no tail, and then light brown or brown collar hackle up front to keep it floating. So I tied this thing on, and over the course of about an hour and a half, I got 3 decent fish with it. And I'm not talking about the reckless fish that come up in the slower still water and just slap at the fly. I'm talking about 3 nice wild browns in the 13 to 15 inch range. Now this pattern will not be a good one for fishing in fast riffled water, but for the water I wanted to fish it in, it did pretty well. And what I think was effective about it is that the body set down on the surface film, and so did the wings, and then the hackle up front kept it floating. Now I don't think this is a really novel pattern and something that I was truly unique in creating. It's one of these type flies that have probably been created by 100 people over the last 100 years. And does it really have a formal name? I don't know. In the 600 videos I've done on this channel, I've never tied anything exactly like this, so it might exist out there in some form or another, but the one I'm tying, I don't know if it does, so I'm going to give this thing my own name. So henceforth, I'm calling this the Scarecrow Caddis. Even though it's not entirely a caddis, it's almost as much a midge or a gnat as it is, but I was fishing it when there were caddis in the air, and that's what I'm using it to imitate. Now one last note, and I know this intro is getting a little bit long, but the 3 nice fish I caught with it a couple days ago, unfortunately, one of them I didn't even have the camera rolling, and one of them it was getting a little dark, so there is no long form video on these, but I'm going back up in a couple days. If I can add a couple more fish to that, I will put them all together and then come up with a video of using this fly. And this thing is a really simple tie, and in the right situation, I think it could do well for you. So there it is in the vise. Now I know this thing looks a little bit like a gnat or even a midge, but I've been fishing it as a small tan caddis and had some luck with it here this past week. So this is a size 18. There's your dime for reference. Now I've tied a bunch of these in 18s and 16s. Standard length barbless dry fly hook, and I'm using tan 52 denier thread. Let's just catch this in, bring it back to the start of the bend. Let's put a little bit of wax on it. And I'm going with just a tiny bit of tan superfine. We're gonna dub the back half, maybe a little bit more than half, but maybe not as much as 2/3. So pretty thin noodle. Not a real long one. We'll see what this does. Let's go ahead and wrap it up here. And that might be a little bit farther up front than I wanted, but we're going to be fine. So 2 cream colored hackle tips, really small. Now you can try to catch them in a little bit spent or splayed out if you want. If not, don't worry about it. We'll put some thread wraps in between them to get them, how we want. So I'm going to spin my thread clockwise, cord it up just a little bit, do a pinch wrap right there. We'll do 2 wraps and then take a look at these on top here. Okay, they're a little bit spent, but they're spinning around the hook on me, which I don't want, so take care to remedy that. Just bring them back on top, put a couple extra wraps right there. Okay, that is actually fine, so I can go ahead and secure these. Oh, nope, it's still spinning around on me. Good gosh, Matt. Okay, now that's a little bit better. Now can I get a tight wrap here without it spinning? Yes, there we go. Okay, so if you got a little splay like that, that's about what I want. If you didn't, just pull them apart, put an X wrap in between them. I don't have to in this case, so I'm just going with what I got right here. Now that front is a little bit messy. So what I'll do, just push it up with my thumb right there and take a few extra wraps to flatten out this area where we're going to wrap our hackle. And the hackle I'm doing on this, just a light brown. This is actually a barred ginger, but anything light brown, even a brown would be fine. But the ones I've been tying and that have worked for me have been a pretty light brown. So I think this little ginger is going to work just fine. Now I don't have a whole lot of feather here, so I am going to use my hackle pliers here. And I am going to put really as many as I can get without crowding my eye. And that was either 4 or 5, I'm not sure, but it's going to be enough, so let's catch this off. I'll snip this excess and just take a few wraps to flatten out this head, give us some room for our whip finish. So there we go. A little bit of cleanup, maybe some head cement if you want it, or not. Just fish it like this. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.